Hello and welcome to Portsmouth This Week. I'm your host, Conley Zani. This show is under the auspices of Rich Rayner, our Portsmouth Town Administrator. Together, Rich, myself, and the entire Portsmouth This Week team are on a mission to build community. We do that by bringing you accurate and timely information about the issues that impact you. We introduce you to the faces, the personalities, the leaders in this town that make up this very magical place that we live. I'm so excited today to have our fire chief, Chief Ford. Welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Almost a year to the day that we had you on the show last year. And it was such a treat to get to know you and introduce you to the community, even though you had been here 4.5 years at that point. So now you've hit the 5-year mark, past that. And you and I just gabbed and gabbed and gabbed, and we never got around to the fire safety stuff that was the real reason you came on the show last year.
That's
true.
So
we have to make a pact here today. We've only got 30 minutes. Okay. We cannot miss this, because you are such a storyteller and it's such a treat to have you on this show.
Did you just say I talk too much?
Well, I do too. I do too. So anyway, I know you have a lot of things you want to share with us. There's been some big grants that have come in. Why don't we just start with that? Okay. And we'll go from there, but we just have to keep our eye on the time and make sure we talk about setting up for Christmas and being safe. All right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So grants. Let's start
grants.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we have received a few grants in the last couple of years. One that we just really quickly had a good turnaround, got the project completed, is we got a grant for a new PPE, personal protective equipment, the turnout coats that my guys wear when they go into a fire.
Yeah.
Been many studies done about the carcinogens in those, and they need to be washed. So we just got a new commercial washer and a commercial gear dryer that's capable of cleaning 6 sets at a time.
Oh my goodness.
Now, they just went to a boat fire a couple of days ago, and they were involved in a lot of smoke with a lot of byproducts in it. So the incident commander told the whole crew, as soon as you get back to the station, we want your gear washed. So we just got that grant, and again, we completed the project, so that's good.
Okay. But so those are giant machines, right?
Big commercial washer, yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure very expensive because it's so special.
Very expensive. Right? The total price of the whole project was about $42,000, and of that we got roughly $38,000 from the federal government.
Oh, well, good,
so that was very good.
I remember last year talking, you have learned very well how to navigate all of those grants and all of the, and it is a big navigation process, isn't it?
It is. They're very competitive. We did just get a turn-down letter for a new apparatus. Those are very difficult to get. But I've been quite successful in my career in getting grants. And another grant that we got that is even more difficult, a fire prevention and safety grant through FEMA, and we got one to begin what we call a senior safe program.
Okay, what is that?
So what we're doing, and we just ran a pilot program and finished it and got some feedback, but we are going into the homes of seniors who request us, and we're going to do a home survey. So we look for things like fall hazards, trip hazards, electrical hazards. But the main part of it is we go over their smoke alarms and their CO detection. Yeah. And we will review where they are, how old they are, and we replace them. So we have smoke and CO detection that we will go into those homes and replace what they have with a newer style that, remember, we have smoke detectors out for years. We have to change the battery every year and so forth.
Yes.
These new ones,
which no one does,
which that can be a problem.
Guilty.
So the new ones that we're getting have what's called a 10-year monolithic battery. So it's 10 years, it's sealed, you don't do a thing about it, and it coincides with the life expectancy of the smoke detector, or actually limit, is 10 years. So you put this up once for 10 years, and that's the end of it.
Okay.
And we also are giving the seniors in this program a couple other things, one of them being what's called a file for life. So if they have this file and they leave it on top of the refrigerator somewhere obvious, if we go there and they're incapacitated in any way, or not able to communicate with us fully, if they've put all their prescription information in there, their medical information, we know where to look and we can grab that.
That's terrific. Who thought of that?
Not me. Sorry. I'd love to take that credit, but no.
No, that's a great program. And so you've done a pilot. Are you working with the senior center on that?
We're working with the senior center. We did 10 people first through the senior center. In fact, I think we decided to go with the board members so we could get feedback from them.
We've had all of them on the show.
Okay.
So I know the faces you're talking about. That's great.
So now the next plan, I have to get together with Cynthia.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to get together with you because we're going to do a presentation.
Okay.
And because of capacity, we won't be able to do it at the actual senior center.
So Common Fence Point.
So Common Fence Point might be a good option.
The senior center, those ladies are line dancing every week. That's their home too.
Let's not go down the line dancing stuff.
Well, that's terrific. So I know like I said, I know those board members. I'm sure they were not shy about feedback. What was the most interesting feedback you got, or what did you hear that you're like, we're going to tweak this or tweak that?
Well, there were a couple of technical. I'll use the word issue, but I don't mean there were problems, but that we have to tweak our system. We learned what time it takes, how long it takes for the inspections, and things like that. We also learned that we didn't realize going into it, we weren't thinking that some people have more advanced systems in their home. Typically, we call it a low voltage system that's monitored. You may have ADT that monitors it. Those smoke detectors are under a different standard. They don't necessarily have to be replaced at 10 years. And what we are putting in would not be as good. It wouldn't be conducive to that system.
Okay.
So in those cases,
you got to take a pass on that.
But we still go over their home and maybe identify some issues, safety issues and so forth. Okay. I'll get into one in a few minutes on electric cords. So we're still going to go in there and provide for them as much as we can, short of replacing a higher level of detection with what we have.
And do you find when you're going, I mean, I know it's just been the pilot, but I'm sure probably every home you've found something that is a potential challenge area.
Well, I don't have all the data in yet. We have done them, and we're compiling any of these issues that we found and tweaking our program. Yeah. So I can't tell you per se what was found in each home, but I know they were well received. The residents were thankful for what we have done, and I'm sure we got a pretty good grant. We're going to be able to do quite a few homes. Okay.
Is it time to sign up yet, or still too preliminary?
Not until we do our presentation. I'm hoping to get that done in the next few weeks, or maybe the very beginning of the new year.
Okay, so that presentation will be the launch of the program.
That will, and during that we'll have everything down as to how you apply, who you go through, and we'll have the applications. We have them, but even that, we found, well, we don't need this information, but we'd rather have this piece of information.
Yeah. Well, that is absolutely my jam, and I can't wait to talk to Cynthia about that and get that scheduled. I mean, we're trying to do, community events out there, so that seems right up our alley. So I cannot wait. Well, so that's an exciting grant. All right,
Absolutely.
What else?
Well, that's what we have right now for the current grants, but I'd also like to mention that in the last couple of years, the town has been very gracious with us as far as affording some updates for the fire station. So in the way through the town administrator, Rich Rayner, and getting some funding. So in the last 2 years, we've been able to replace in the living portion of the station, upstairs and downstairs, the office area and the living portion, not out in the bay where the apparatus are. But the living portion, we have all new floors, all new ceilings, ceiling tiles, lighting, walls are all painted, the entire station, and a good portion of that was actually done by my firefighters, the painting aspect. We have a brand new kitchen. Much more.
I bet that's great.
Much more efficient, layout and spacious, and took down a wall that held it. It made it feel a little congested.
Yeah. Am I remembering that building is a 1970s building?
Yes, it is, and it hadn't had anything done, into my knowledge, at all.
Yeah. If I recall, it's like the one town-owned building that hadn't had this investment.
Yeah.
So it has happened, or it is happening.
Well, it was, as far as I know, it's the oldest town. Prior to this, it's the oldest town building that hasn't been remodeled. Obviously, Town Hall is much older, but it's had major renovations.
Yeah.
So the environment, the working environment is much nicer. The kitchen is much nicer, and it's bigger. And you have to realize the fire station kitchen isn't like your home kitchen. The fire station kitchen, there are 10 firefighters in that building 24/7.
Yeah.
So that's every
And they eat a
meal.
lot.
Well,
They cook a lot.
Some more than others. We do a lot of cooking with the 24-hour shifts. Most groups cook dinner every night. That's pretty common.
Oh, that's very cool.
I sort of missed the fact that when they were working 10-hour shifts and 14s, we did a lot of cooking at lunch while I was there.
Okay. Yeah.
Now they're cooking dinner.
Okay.
So I'm missing out a little bit, and maybe that's why I lost some weight. But the facilities in the fire station are used to a much higher degree.
Yes.
Think of how many people in your house may be opening and closing cabinet doors.
Yeah.
Well, I
And it's just
have
a couple of
over
us, right?
over 40 different people doing that.
Oh my goodness.
So that's been a big improvement. All of our garage doors, 10 garage doors, have been replaced. We were getting at the point where springs were breaking and they were old, so it was very
And you
hard.
can't have that. You got to get in and out fast.
It's very expensive because of trying to find the right parts. So we have all new openers, all new doors, and in our fire alarm, which is where the calls come in, where guys are dispatched from, in the process now, we're probably 95% done. Complete new dispatching software, all new radios, new record management system to keep all of our records in, property records of hazards. We now will have the ability, it's just beginning, that if there's something at your house, maybe a major propane tank, or we go to Clement's and where their electrical shutoffs are, where their gas connection is, any different hazards, that will all be in the computer system. So when that call comes in for that address, those hazards will pop up.
Okay.
We are also transitioning to having mobile data terminals. So all the first responding apparatus, they will have it in the apparatus. Oh, we're going to Clement's, and here's this issue, here's that issue. Or maybe we go to your
high tech.
Maybe we're going to your house and there's a code to get in the front door that you've provided. That code is there. Because we're going to get in your front door one way or the other.
Right, and I'd rather you use my code
having
than
your
bash
code
my door in.
that's a much better answer, because we have the key. We have a key that will fit. It just doesn't. It's
called my boot.
It's tougher to close afterwards. Yes. So those are some of our upgrades that
That's really exciting, and that just, as you were talking about all the different kinds of calls you get, like, it's more than just a call for a fire. You guys are called out for
anything
and everything. Yeah.
In my career, I don't know if we touched upon this last year, but I've gone to a puppy that was trapped in an old style kids playpen. I've been to a police officer's daughter who got into his handcuffs and was handcuffed, and they stripped inside, the key stripped, and he couldn't.
Because that was an embarrassing call to make.
Oh, he had to call the fire department, and we were able to get his daughter out of those handcuffs.
Was that in Portsmouth, or
No,
you've not
it was
given that
not.
up? Okay.
I'm not going to say where, but it was not in Portsmouth. But so we are, many times we're the first call.
Yeah.
For the normal EMS calls, fires, gas leaks.
Yeah.
But we are also many times the last call. Well, who do we call to do that?
Yeah, I've got a problem.
whatever you call us, here's my phrase. When you call a fire department, my members are going to go to your house, and they are going to make your day better.
Okay.
They may not be able to fix it. They get there and there's a big water leak. They're not going to go, sorry.
Right.
They're going
to shut that water off
They're going to
somehow.
shut it off, or they're going to reduce the flow, or they're going to direct the flow out of the house instead of down through the floors. They are going to do whatever they can to make your day better.
Right. Right. Always.
So,
always.
always.
Your day is better when the fire department shows up and helps you with your problem.
Well, your day wasn't that good because you called us.
It's been a bad day.
But
If the
they're
fire
gonna-
department's
right.
coming, it's a bad day, but
they're
you guys make it
they're going
better.
to make it better, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a little different than the police. Usually there's at least one person. If the police are showing up, one person's day is not getting better. At least one.
Yes, somebody's not happy. And I always say that I feel bad for them because
Yeah.
for the most part, when we show up, people are very happy we're there. And I have to imagine the police, usually there's someone involved that didn't want them to show up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We've had the police chief on. It's been so great. And I just did that police academy, which was unbelievable. So, I mean, both of your teams, I'm sure you all work a lot together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always say police and fire, we're like cousins.
Yeah.
You know, and we have the same goals, really. We may achieve them differently, but our goals are to go out and help our citizens and help fix what's wrong.
Do you find yourself in a lot of meetings with Chief Peters? Like,
Sure.
right?
We're regularly together,
Yeah.
staff meetings, and at public safety issues, walk over to his office, we'll have a discussion.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
we have a very good relationship like that.
Of course you do. No, I have no doubt that is absolutely the case.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
move on.
All right, yes,
Okay.
we've got 10 minutes.
No, sir.
I'm serious. So,
Okay,
so
then
okay,
I
all right.
have to move along quickly. One
Okay.
thing I have to say, Portsmouth, the residents of Portsmouth, I have been a fire chief somewhere since 2008. 5 different community, 3 full-time communities, 2
Yeah.
interims. And any 12-month period that I've been in Portsmouth, any 12-month period, I've received more food and cash donations than all the other years elsewhere. The
Like all of them
residents-
combined, if
yes,
you added it all up.
All the years I was in 2 other full-time positions, 8 years,
Yeah.
and any 12-month period here, we have more food and
eclipsed
cash donate. It's unbelievable how well
That's
they
so
take care of
cool.
us.
That's so great. I love that.
Okay, I got to move on.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I really want to talk quickly about smoke detectors. Obviously, the most important thing.
Oh, we're
for
getting to the
for
fire safety portion of the program.
Yes,
All right.
having smoke detectors. The laws in this state, they can be found on our website, but smoke detector laws have about 8 different time frame periods. If your house was built before this year and that year, this is what's required. And then another time period and another time period. But in general, you should have a working smoke alarm on every level of your home,
Okay.
in every bedroom, outside the bedrooms within 21 feet, at the top of the stairs and at the base of the stairs.
Okay.
That's in general. Again, you have to go by what your house was built at. You can always do better, but
And we should all strive to do
we-
better.
I
Not the
personally,
minimum requirements on a fire alarm.
and I think we should have a date where it's grandfathered, and after that point, you have to have the right,
Right.
the current code.
Okay.
But you have to change your batteries every year, except now we have the ability to buy 10-year
call them a
monolithic battery. So I recommend those to everybody.
Okay. All right.
Carbon monoxide detection, another important thing, that it goes by different years that you built your house. Everyone should have carbon monoxide detection, at least on every floor. It should be hardwired in. There are some exceptions because you can buy the 10-year monolithic battery. There is a particular one that meets the code. But those old plug-in ones you put down when they first came out, that doesn't meet the code.
So let's talk about what that means. Carbon monoxide poisoning, or what have you seen? What happens
Oh,
if people don't have this and they're getting what?
Well, ultimately, they can die. They do die.
Yeah.
Carbon monoxide is a byproduct of incomplete combustion. So if your furnace isn't working right, your gas stove isn't working right, you can have it. It's a
So it's a very real deal.
It's a very real
People need
deal.
to pay attention to this.
You can't see it, you can't smell it, it's odorless. It displaces, not only does it displace oxygen, but more importantly, carbon monoxide gets in your bloodstream. Now your blood cells transport oxygen through your body.
Yeah.
Carbon monoxide attaches to those blood cells and they're stronger than the oxygen. So they push the oxygen out of the way and they travel through your body. So you don't get the oxygen. Even if you're in an area that has enough oxygen, the carbon monoxide in your system, it wins.
Yeah.
So it's very important to have carbon monoxide detection.
Yeah, so that's what people fall asleep, like,
They start feeling maybe sleepy. They feel like they have a cold. It's flu-like symptoms. They might get cherry red. It all depends on the concentrations and how quickly.
That's very scary.
If it's high enough, you can die in a minute.
Oh, wow.
That's not the norm. It's over time. You're in your house. You're spending time.
But it's not exploding.
Well, when there's enough carbon monoxide, it is a flammable explosive gas.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what you
right.
refer
You
to
got
the
me
term
scared enough.
backdraft
Okay,
comes
yes.
from. That's a whole nother realm.
Okay. All right.
Christmas.
Keep going.
It's Christmas time. Let's talk about
We're
Christmas.
good. We've got 5 minutes, and we have a video to show, too.
Okay.
So, all right, Christmas.
So let's talk about Christmas
Tee it up.
trees.
Tee it
Christmas
up.
trees. 1/3 of home Christmas tree fires are caused by electrical problems. Another quarter are caused by them putting too close to heaters, fireplaces, sources of ignition. So
Even a radiator, right? Like even your floorboards?
that probably won't cause it to get on fire, but it will cause it to deteriorate quicker. By that, natural trees. A lot of people like to have natural trees. I had one all my 40 years of married life until last year, and my wife is thrilled. We have a beautiful artificial. Natural trees, when you get them, you have to put a fresh cut. Usually the tree place will do it for you. Cut the base of it. You need to get it home and in water. A video, you're going to see a video in a minute, done by NIST, which is the National Institute for Standards and Testing. It will be two Christmas trees side by side, one that has been watered daily, one that has not. They look very similar. There'll be an ignition source applied to those trees, and you wait to see the difference.
Should we play it right now? We'll play
Sure.
it right now.
Why
All
don't we
right.
see it right now?
Let's watch this video, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So
Okay.
here we go. Okay,
So you saw how quickly that dry tree goes up.
that's terrifying, as a matter of fact.
In 30 seconds, that room is pretty much fully involved. So you want to keep it watered. Now, I'll give you a little trick that my wife came up with.
Okay.
Watering the tree, you know, climbing underneath on your belly, trying to pour water, spilling all over. For years, we watered our tree with ice cubes.
Oh.
We'd just go in the ice maker and put it in a bowl and go under the tree and fill up the base of the tree with ice.
Well, that's actually pretty brilliant.
No fuss, no muss,
Okay.
and then it's easy to
no
do.
mess.
You're not saying, "Oh, I got to climb under that tree again and pour the water, and then it's going to spill on the presents that are there."
Right.
We put ice cubes in. The point is, keep it watered.
Can I ask
Yeah.
you said fresh cut, so you're not saying I need to go like to a farm that they're cutting it
No,
right there. The tree
no.
can be cut, but they need they just do a
Cut the stump off,
The stump,
make,
okay.
make a
That's
fresh
what you
cut
mean.
on the
Okay.
base of the tree, because that tree may have been cut for a month. That
Okay.
bottom is getting all sealed with sap and so forth, dirt maybe. It's not going to allow the water to absorb into the tree.
Okay.
Fresh cut, get it in the water.
Okay.
At the end of when Christmas is done, get it out of your house as quickly as you can. The needles are drying out. They have oil in them, pine oil. It's flammable. And as you just saw in that video, what can happen with a dry Christmas tree?
I couldn't believe it. And the wet one, it just took... that was amazing. I saw the flame, but it just wasn't going anywhere. And
Right. Big difference. And I have been to house fires where the Christmas tree went, and it was devastating what it did. We were able to get there quickly and put the fire out, but the entire living room looked like what you saw in that video. Everything in that living room was gone, nothing but ash. And that happens in seconds.
Yeah.
So please be careful. I got to get one other topic real quick. You have to.
We're good.
Everybody knows about extension cords. Normal appliances, as a general rule, the electrical code has outlets every 12 feet. And the lamp you buy has a 6-foot cord. So that lamp can be anywhere and there's an outlet within its reach in modern day codes.
Yes.
But we all have an opportunity to run extension cords. Well, when you buy those little extension cords, they're typically white or brown. We refer to them as zip cords. They are made of a lighter gauge wire, a weaker, smaller wire than your normal house wire.
It's hotter.
So all electricity flowing through wires creates heat. But that heat dissipates in the air and it doesn't cause a problem. Well, now you get that smaller zip cord, and you're putting too much on the other end, like an electric heater. That's a no-no. Do not put any kind of high-use appliances on the end of a zip cord. But the electricity is running through, it's creating heat, but that heat is dissipating, no problem, until someone says, I don't like seeing that cord. I'm going to put it under the carpet.
Right.
Now it's under the carpet, it's building up heat, it can't dissipate, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And when you apply heat to anything like that, over a long period of time, it actually makes the ignition temperature required of that product, it lowers it. It makes it easier to ignite. So no zip cords. Certainly no zip cords underneath carpets. Another bad thing is people try to make them neat and they'll wrap them around the leg of that end table. That's another no-no with electricity.
It's just concentrating.
It concentrates it there, creates more heat. So don't do that.
All right. Well, listen. I think, unless you've got one more burning one, we need to wrap up.
One more burning one? Let me see the most important one I have here. Cooking.
Okay.
Safety tips for cooking.
Yes.
Have a pan, you get a grease fire, put the cover over it, or use baking soda. Don't put water on it. Right. Don't try to move the pan on fire. I personally went to a house fire where an older woman was cooking, caught on fire. She tried to move it to the sink, it caught her clothes, and she perished in that fire.
Oh, God, Paul. Oh, my goodness. Okay, all right.
Okay, so that one, stay by your pan. Another big thing that I was exposed to a lot in my career is older people waking up in the middle of the night, and then they go to stop, I want a little hot dog, and they'd fall asleep.
Okay. Oh,
and
my God. All right.
I think we're out of time.
We are, but I hope you'll come back. And thank you. I'm going to go check my house for all of these things.
Okay.
All right, wonderful.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
My guest has been Chief Paul Ford, our Portsmouth Fire Chief. We'll see you next time on Portsmouth This Week.